In this video, I'm gonna talk about curse crackers for whom the bell toils. I never actually had a portable console when I was young. My only exposure to it was borrowing my friend's Sega Game Gear for a weekend, and I spent it playing Sonic 2 under the judgmental eye of my father, who was profoundly offended that I was playing video games out on the back deck instead of swimming in the pool like a normal kid. I didn't get to enjoy the experience for a whole lot of time anyway, since, for anybody who's not up to date on the portable deep lore, the Game Gear was famous for requiring 768 12-volt batteries in order to enjoy a modicum of playtime. It cost $400,000 to run that console for 12 minutes. Now, this is an example of doing more with less. Graphically speaking, anyway. The music is made of chiptunes, except when it's not. Not an issue since the non-chiptune parts are here for dramatic effect. I hear electric guitar barging in, and I know right in that moment that shit just got real and I best watch my pasty pixelated moons going forward. Things definitely don't obey the letter of the law, and they get away from the spirit of the law when it feels like the right thing to do. There are so many lovingly animated sprites that I'm pretty sure there's no self-imposed challenge on memory usage. I have no idea if the sheer amount of sprites would have all fit onto a Game Boy cartridge, but I don't see any reason to be a stick in the mud about that part. It works. It just does. It obeys only enough of the bygone guidelines to tickle the nostalgia part of the brain. It's what if you were on a Game Boy, but the hardware was wonderfully affordable at every level. Nostalgia is a fond memory that's embellished in regard to the past reality. Now, here, that memory is knowingly remanufactured. It's cherry-picked for the best parts, presented, and you're told right there on the package, we took the greatest of the olden days, and now you get to enjoy them in the way that your brain thought it was like. It's not fake. It's not a deception. It's a celebration of aesthetics. It's a bottling of impressions and emotions made from a mind perfectly in tune with how our tastes have evolved from childhood to adulthood. The controls are completely instantaneous. I push the button, I move. I stop pushing the button, I stop where I am. It's the simplest, the most predictable control scheme in the entire world, and yet there are hordes of developers who say, to hell with that bullshit, we're gonna do it different. I get a jump button, I get a go fast button, I get an attack button, and I get an item button. I can do fancy moves like I'm playing Super Mario 64. I can push downwards and then jump to get even higher than usual. I feel like I can just do about anything. The story is as follows. You're on a date with your knight of a potential boyfriend when your longtime bunny-eared buddy decides to kidnap him just for the sake of pissing you off. That's it. That's what kicks off the plot. Everything beyond that is a spoiler. Don't worry, it doesn't get any crazy existential, there is no gay X ending, none of that weird bullshit. Just the things stories usually do along the way. Though, the funny thing in this one is that once you beat the final boss, you realize that your save file is only half done. It's not that there's a do-over in hard mode, it's that there are just so many little secrets all over the place that they do literally take up half the game's content. The main story, that was just a practice run. The extra content, that's where the real stuff begins. You can spend maybe 4-5 hours beelining to the final boss, maybe. But you can easily add another dozen to the ticker just for the sake of all the extra content. Because the real stuff, that's where the going can get hard. You got a bunch of levels that are just a bit tougher than the usual ones. And if you work at it, you can find more levels that are gonna test you some more, and yet even more, and you're gonna keep pushing it, grabbing every item, trying to get every medal, speedrunning, doing trick shots, finding the secret exits, getting to the end of all the side quests, beating every boss. It's the beating every boss part that's gonna get you. By the time you make it to the very last bits of the game, you're up against some of the toughest fights there can be. Not just in the game, but in gaming as a whole. These are some well and proper tough cookies. Could I beat the last little bits? No, I couldn't. It was too much for me. but I'm not even mad. I'm happy I got this far. I didn't think I would make it to where I ended. The game pushed me. It kicked my ass. It joyfully invited me to keep at it. And I prevailed. I prevailed over and over until I couldn't. And when I couldn't no more, I said, fair. I took my standing with honor. I considered it a podium finish. I wish there were more games like this one. Games that don't try to replicate the past, but improve on all the right parts of it. Too many games try to improve on the wrong parts. Too many to name. Too many games that believe the past is defined by weird compromises and design decisions made out of not knowing any better. And then this one here shows up and puts on a masterclass in how to do it nice and proper. It does it with a disconcerting ease. Makes me wonder why I never felt that impression before. Maybe it's the kind of right answer that's obvious only after you found it. Like it had been hiding right under your nose all along. Or maybe the right answer had been so simple that they just went, nah, there's no way it can be that easy. And they looked elsewhere. Anyway, regardless of the way, somebody cracked the code, and we're all better for it. The end product stands before me, glorious in its execution, and even though I can't guarantee I'll consume it all, I'm just glad that it's in the realm of the possible. The finish line is just near enough that I think I can do it. And it's just far enough to make me not just work for it, but enjoy working for it. In short, this game is an eating contest.
Jamais, jamais assez. Il faut que je finisse le sac.